Welcome. Am I audible? Yes, no? Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you, most of you are from outside Bangalore? Am I correct? So every single time you travel from the airport and you land at the hotel, there's one conversation that usually happens. And what's that? Traffic, right? Invariably, I'm born and brought up in Bangalore, seen Bangalore over the last so many years. And Bangalore is a smart city, by the way, right? It begs the question that in spite of being a smart city, we speak a lot about digital, we speak a lot about innovation, we speak a lot about AI, we speak a lot about a lot of things on technology platforms. But for various reasons, there are certain problems infrastructure cannot be solved. And Bangalore has not been able to solve it. And I think hopefully in the future with new generation of technologies and policymakers who take decisions, combined together, I think we should be able to get somewhere as far as solving problems for Bangalore is concerned, right? Now, let's look at that dovetails into what actually the imperatives for CIOs are today, right? Challenges of Bangalore, largely challenges for CIOs also. McKinsey had these 6 imperatives, and imperatives keep changing, keeping in mind business needs and what CIOs also want to deliver from the business perspective, right? Let's look at the 6 imperatives which McKinsey today talks about. And interestingly, it again speaks a lot about what Peter just spoke about, which is around AI. Now, the first piece, as far as most of it is concerned, is the adoption of the AI itself, the posture which you take when you're adopting AI within your organization. A large times we've seen across that many use cases which are there, which you try and build across, fails because you don't have the right outcomes for these. And that's one of the reasons why many technologies have not really picked up as much as what we've seen in the last so many years. And the second piece, obviously, like I mentioned, if you don't have the right use case for what you're trying to deliver around the AI piece, especially around the generative AI, with the right kind of outcome which dovetails into the third piece which I'm talking about, you will not be able to get the right kind of results which is required. And that's one of the reasons why McKinsey specifically put this as one of the imperatives which is there. The fourth one, of course, is very clear that if you don't take advantage of your existing services which are there, because many a times we've seen across that a large number of organizations don't utilize a large amount of services which already exist within their organization. So if you don't use that, you will not be able to take any benefit of what you want to deliver. Of course, there are a lot of open source platforms today. I think that's another area which every single CIO is taking advantage of, and that's something which you need to do. Of course, you can take advantage of those open source platforms, provided your infrastructure supports. A huge number of organizations, especially largely manufacturing, right? We've seen across that there's a large legacy infrastructures which are there, legacy applications which are there. If you have these kind of infrastructures and applications which are existing within your organization, you will not be able to go into the next forms of technology which is available for you. So very clearly, the key part for you would be to look at how do you modernize some of these applications, how do you kind of modernize some of the legacy infrastructures which is there. And of course, the last one is very clear that all of these are done basically to take advantage of the kind of data which comes across. You should be able to take benefit of those data, and data is the new oil. But what does the AI actually get built on? We speak a lot about generative AI. What is the core of this generative AI? How does it come out? So if you look at the building blocks of the generative AI which is there, it's largely built on these 4 platforms. The core piece for the generative AI itself is the infrastructure. And Manoj is from EMC. I used to work in Dell, and I worked actually closely with Manoj, but he doesn't remember me. We used to sell a lot of EMC at that point of time. And I think even today, if you go to any infrastructure player, the hardware vendor, the innovation happens in the infrastructure because that's the key building block for building any platform of technology. And that's the most important part. The second piece, of course, is the cloud and data platforms. So are you utilizing platforms like cloud in the right way for you to enable some of these platforms which we are talking, new technologies which we are talking? And of course, the third one is the generative AI models itself. There are various models which are available today as far as generative AI is concerned. As you have to choose what is the right model which is across for you. And of course, the application. So these are the building blocks for it. Interestingly, if you look at generative AI, A lot of generative AI is spoken about today is because of one reason. One company which everybody speaks about. And any guesses? What is interesting is this. Just look at the amount of compute it takes to run a generative AI like ChatGPT. 285,000 cores, 10,000 graphic cards, which is equivalent to 800 petaflops. 800 petaflops. That's equivalent to all the top 20 supercomputers in the world. That is what it takes. Do you think you would be able to run this in a regular data center? Anybody? That's not possible. And why do you think you will not be able to run it in your regular data center? Let me give you a preview of that. It consumes 1,287 megawatts of power. This is the key part, right? It has 550 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. That is equivalent to a guy traveling between San Francisco and New York 550 times. Now, this is the key part when you look at how do you develop and build platforms around AI. It's not just about the technology, but what is it runs on, and what are the challenges you face when it comes to generative AI, because we've seen a lot of deep fakes, which is very prominent today, what is happening on the generative AI area. So security is the key part, and when we as CtrlS look at what are we trying to do around those areas, CtrlS is a group of companies, of course. We have Cloud4C, which basically enables hyperscale business for our customers on the public cloud. We have Pioneer, which is giving you connectivity. It's a class 1 ISP, having NLD and ILD licenses. So we are able to give network connectivity across to our customers. We have Snabble, which designs and builds data center for our customers and ourselves. And of course, we have Cloud4C Automation and Cloud4C Digital, which enables basically RPS and any digital platforms which are required for our customers. But why is a data center so critical when you're running some of these platforms? The key part when you're running any of these generative AI or any technology is the uptime of the particular data center. I'm sure you agree that you don't want anything going down. And if you look at our organization, one of the key part is the 100% uptime. The second most important part was I told you about the power consumption which ChatGPT generates. Now, that's a huge amount of consumption. What it means is that how do you reduce that consumption? So PUE is the lowest in the industry what we have. It is at almost 1.3, and this is very, very critical when you're looking at carbon emissions, because we are a LEED Platinum certified, and we'll discuss a little bit more about that. The key differentiator, of course, for CtrlS, like I mentioned across to you, is the uptime. It is the lowest PUE in the industry. We are rated for one of the largest rated for data centers in Asia. And of course, the most important part is the kind of connectivity which you are given. It's a carrier neutral facility which we give it to our customers. Where are they situated? We have data centers spread across India. But the key piece to note here is one of the advantages which in the future you will see a lot of technology applications taking is the edge platform. So we're building data centers on the edge. Now we have it in Patna, we have it in Lucknow. You will see us coming across in almost all the tier 2 cities across in India, where you will be able to take benefit of some of the edge applications which you can run at that point of time. What is the core of our business if you look at it, right? So all of this business is built on the core of delivering your infrastructure at our data center. So the co-location piece is what we deliver. That's the core of our business. We started almost in 2008. We started as a data center, but as you can see, we've expanded into various areas of services. We deliver all possible managed services, cloud services, and network services across to our customers. When we build these services around different forms of cloud, one of the key part which enterprises started adopting and do adopt, especially large enterprises, is the ability to manage clouds and optimize costs. So the key necessity was how do you build hybrid clouds across to your customers, because your cost efficiency comes somewhere in between. You will never see cost being cheap, whether it's in private or in public. So you need to have the right kind of applications which actually runs on your public cloud and the right kind of applications which actually runs in your private cloud. So when you say application, one of the key part is how do you deliver services to support those applications, we have almost 80% of our customers who actually have all the application services which are rendered by us. As you can see, all of these application services are with the support of our partners. We are the largest SAP partner across the globe, which we provide SAP hosting services. And we also work with the likes of Intellect, Finacle, and various banking organizations, ISVs across the country, right? Now, the core of our managed services is built around all of these areas, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But the key part is this, that when we deliver infrastructures and we run infrastructures for our customers, the key part is not just the uptime of the infrastructure, but the key part is the uptime of the business. So when you look at uptime of the business, you need to have the right kind of resources and the people who can actually deliver that support across to you. Keeping that in mind, you will see us delivering all areas of managed services which are relevant to the ecosystem of supporting whether public cloud or private cloud or any infrastructures. Now, when you look at cloud, the most important part is also connectivity. And I always hear this, that who delivers connectivity across to us. So one of the pieces which we started recently is CtrlS Connect. We will be able to deliver connectivity across to you from DC to DC. We call it Metro Connect. We can connect it within our DCs, to external DCs. It can be connected to public clouds. So the key part is, apart from delivering infrastructures, we will also be able to deliver across connectivity across to you folks, right? But most of the time, when you look at ChatGPT and when you look at a lot of innovation which is happening, the concern that comes up, especially keeping in mind regulatory requirements, the concern that comes up in people's mind is, where do we run these platforms? How do I run it? Can I run it in my own secure environment? And we've seen a huge amount of adoption which is happening, specifically around the private cloud, because you get the same kind of usage, ease of use, what a public cloud can give, whether it is in the form of scalability, whether it is in the form of manageability, and the costs also, right? So one of the key area for us to deliver across to our customers is to build private clouds across to our customers on a pay-as-you-go model, which will give you the same flexibility of what a public cloud can deliver across to you. And these are run across all the data centers which I just spoke to you about. So you have the choice of putting some of these into the data centers which you want, very clearly, right? So, but that's not just the one which we do. We also deliver public cloud. I spoke to you about Cloud4C. Cloud4C is the largest partner for SAP across the globe. Cloud4C actually is present in almost close to about 26 locations across the globe. And they support all SAP. We have almost 2,000 plus SAP customers across the globe. And we will be able to deliver hyperscale cloud across to you. So what it means is that when you look at delivering hybrid platforms or building hybrid platforms, today we are in the position to deliver proper hybrid clouds with the ability to deliver private clouds and public clouds both. Now, when you look at all of these, the key part which I mentioned about was when ChatGPT was about the kind of emission which ChatGPT comes up with because of the kind of power consumption it does. So for us, very clearly, sustainability is the key part. And you will see us having won a lot of awards as far as sustainability is concerned. We are a world's first LEED Platinum certified data center. What is very important in this is, apart from the industry PUE being at 1.3, the most important part is by 2030, we will be on 100% renewable energy. Now, it is very important, keeping in mind the urbanization of what is happening today across the country, that we are able to deliver some of this in the sustained way. Of course, we also have a fully solar-powered DC in Mumbai. If any of you are from Mumbai, you should do visit that. Our DC is it's one of the first fully solar-powered DC in India, right? So you should also have a visit on that. Of course, the reason why we are doing all of this is because of you, and it's because of our customers. So if you look at what we cover from a customer perspective, it is spread across all possible customers, all possible verticals. This is not specific to a particular form of infrastructure. It is across the kind of infrastructures we deliver across to our customers, whether it is in the form of public cloud, private cloud, SOC services, all possible services, managed services, end-to-end services, in all possible verticals. The biggest part in this is that you would see a huge number of top Fortune 500 customers in this list. And the reason why you will see them is because of our ability to deliver uptimes and our ability to deliver the right kind of services across to our customers. All of this cannot be completed without me putting this particular slide, which talks about the kind of awards we've got. And the reason why we get these awards, obviously, is because we focus a lot on sustainability. We focus a lot on ensuring that our data centers are available for our customers. We focus a lot on ensuring that the kind of service levels which are delivered across to our customers are in line with what it is expected by these customers. And that's one of the reasons you will see all of these awards which are there. I would want to leave one last thought with you. When you look at digital transformation, one of the first slides was how to control digital transformation. And I think today, frankly speaking, it's very difficult to control it unless and until we are very sure about the kind of technologies we are using, what we are using for, and how we are using. And that is where I think you would see a lot of players like us who will be able to come and support you, work with you, to look at some of the adoption of these platforms in the right way, at the right places, so that you are able to run these more efficiently. You are able to ensure that you're focused on business and the technology part is taken care by us. That is the key part today, what we do from a CtrlS perspective. Thank you very much. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure speaking to you all. We have a booth outside, so if you have any questions, me and my team are available, and we'll be very happy to support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ranjit, for the wonderful keynotes.